Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Amber Unfiltered. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about my thoughts, I guess my unfiltered opinion of what I think about Taylor Frankie Paul being announced as the new Bachelorette. But before I do that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you want to cash at me at Amber Unfiltered Show, that'd be greatly appreciated. I actually did not have on lipstick before I started recording, but I was like, I'm just gonna add it on for like a little zhuzh or something. I was like, I'm feeling myself today. I don't feel like the cutest, but I feel cute enough, if that makes sense. I actually just got back home from therapy. It was a really, really good session. I feel like we got to like some meat and potatoes of some stuff, and I actually like realized some stuff that I didn't know that was like still bothering me or still making me feel like a little unsettled or anxious. And I was like, damn, I really do have some work to do, but I'm so glad that I'm locking into my mental health journey. For those of you that are considering therapy, I highly, highly, highly recommend you go. I highly suggest it. It is such a powerful tool. It's very helpful. I know that there's a stigma in our community, but I am a huge proponent of it. I've been going for almost 10 years and I cannot recommend it enough. The thing about therapy is what you put into it, you get out of it. So if you're giving 50%, you're only going to get 50% healing done. If you're giving 110%, then obviously you're going to get that amount or percentage of healing done. It is not linear. It is not a straight line. I know that's a very cliche and popular saying, but it is very true. Sometimes you can make really good progress and then you can kind of relapse or regress. You're human. You're not supposed to be perfect, but the fact of the matter is with therapy, it is all about trying, and it is all about being consistent. You have to be consistent to yourself and consistent with healing yourself and getting tools to heal yourself. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Shout out to my therapist. I'm not going to say their name for confidentiality's sake, obviously. But I just wanted to put that out there. And it was interesting because last week I had a bit of a heavier session. So there is like nuance and there is like duality with therapy. But I needed to sit with that, and I feel like that session needed to happen in order for this to happen. She actually has me reading a book, and we go through each chapter. So she gives me a chapter to read each week, and then we come back and we talk about it and discuss how it's showing up in different aspects of my life. And I realized a huge thing that I'm just like, oh my gosh, how did I not see this? But I feel like the older you get, the more wisdom you get, the more maturity you get, and the more like insight or foresight you get, and you start seeing things clearer. Like I feel like now that the wool has been pulled over and that I can really see things for what they are, it's just like, it's kind of amazing, but it's like, damn, like I really did not peep this. But it takes experience and it takes time to really get to that point. And I know I'm nowhere near done healing, but I'm just happy that I am trying to get back on the right track. Because for a little bit I actually didn't I don't want to say I didn't have a therapist. I wasn't going because I didn't have insurance when I left my corporate job, so I had to wait until the new year, got on my husband's insurance, and then I picked it back up. But even I think another thing I hear people say before I get into the video is that they did not like their therapist, or they didn't feel a connection, or they didn't feel like their time was being used wisely. If that person does not fit for you, you are more than welcome to find another therapist. You can keep looking, you can keep researching, you can keep doing consultations. Don't give up. If you don't vibe with one, keep moving until you find one that you vibe with, because you're supposed to be getting something out of it. Do not be just willingly giving people your hard-earned money if they're not a good fit and they're not helping you. The point of therapy is to help you. The point of therapy is to give you tools to deal with stuff. The thing I feel like is if you don't address your trauma will address you. I'll say that to the day I die. Actually, I had went to the store after my appointment and I saw one of my old coworkers from a previous job, and he had some stuff that he was sharing with me. And I was like, have you processed it? Have you dealt with it? And he said, no. And I said, well, what's stopping you? I said, you need to deal with it or it's going to deal with you. And he was like, oh, well, I want to go. You know, he was kind of like on the fence. It seemed like he wanted to go, but maybe not ready. And that's also a thing. It can be very intimidating. It can be scary. It can be fearful because of the things you might find out about yourself, about the people around you. But it is so good because therapy gives you like an outside perspective. It's a third party or like unbiased perspective. These people are licensed and clinically mastered, you know, they're clinically, or what am I going to say? They're academically inclined to help you deal with things, but they also can give you that clinical or that medical or mental or psychological aspect of it. They can kind of give you perspective, but they can also give you tools, and they don't have anything to gain from, you know, you telling your story. Like they don't have a side to pick or anything. They're there to point out things and to help you get to the root of things. I think that's what I wanted to get at. But anyways, let me get into the video. That was a long ass TED talk. I hope you guys are doing well. I know that there's not going to be any videos from last week. I guess I'm kind of recording this in advance, so this will be coming out the week of the the 22nd, the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th. So I'll be releasing videos Wednesday the 24th, Thursday the 25th, Friday the 26th this past week. So this will be September 15th. I'm actually going to be away on a trip or a bit of a retreat, which I'll get into maybe in another video if I'm feeling like sharing. But I'm doing something really, really special with my writing. So I'm going to be away. I'm going to take time to do that. And I wanted to record some stuff in advance so I didn't have to worry about it and I could lock in with my craft. But anyways, I saw this fucking article. I think I actually saw it on Facebook. I usually go on people.com, but people.com, the stories have not been storying. I was like, celebrities are not as fascinating to me anymore. You know what it is? It's because now any and everybody could be a celebrity now. Any and everybody could go viral, can become famous, can become, you know, a fixture, a public figure. So I feel like it's not as exciting for me. I kind of liked how nuanced being a celebrity was, that it was only, like, it was very exclusive. I think that's what I kind of miss about it. I feel like we don't have that exclusivity and like that, what am I trying to say? Like I said, like anybody can become a celebrity. I could become one. I don't really want to. I want my art to really be the celebrity. I want my art to be at the forefront. I want my art to outlive me and leave behind a beautiful, empowering, enriching legacy. But I don't really want to be famous. Like, I just want to be comfortable financially, but I don't want to be famous, if that makes sense. But anyways, I saw this article, girl. I was scrolling on Facebook the other day and I said, I know you motherfucking lying. I said, y'all playing with me, right? And I was like, well, it's people. I was like, I know some of y'all be eating my ass up in the comments because you be like, people don't be coming correct with the sources and they be starting the pot. Well, they're a fucking publication. What else do you expect them to do? Like, sorry, not sorry. Not trying to be a dick, but I'm just saying. So I saw this article about Taylor Frankie Paul and I said, girl, the last thing this woman needs is to be on a dating show. Like, I'm laughing, but I'm so dead ass. I watched season 1 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and that girl is so broken. Like, I told you guys in another video, I had recorded a video about her that I had uploaded. I had watched it, uploaded it, but it didn't feel authentic and it felt rushed. And I was like, I should probably do some research if I'm going to be talking about a real living human being. You know, I actually like her a lot. I know she's done some really problematic things. I don't condone any of the things that she's done, but she seems like a person who is probably holding herself prisoner or captive to the bad things that she's done in her past or the tumultuous things that she's done in her past. And I see someone who wants to change, who wants to heal, and who wants to do the work, but might be too afraid to, might not have the support to do that. You know, I kind of felt like her support system was a little bit shot. I feel like Taylor has a lot of self-doubt. I feel like she doesn't, I don't know. There was actually, hold on, I just thought of something. It wasn't that. Was it this? Oh, I was going to tell y'all something because I was reading a Reddit thread about her one day. It was like weeks ago, like months ago. And they were saying that she might have a disorder. I thought it was NPD, but it says it's narcissistic personality disorder. Hold on. Now this is bothering me. I don't remember what it was. I should have taken a screenshot. Hold on. I'm finna go on ChatGPT, y'all. I know y'all people, not y'all, but I know people be like, oh, we rely on ChatGPT, but I'm like, it's kind of clutch. Like, there's some things I don't use it for. I don't touch it. But this, I need to know. Hold on. What is it? Hold on, y'all. There's a reason why I'm bringing this up. What is this disorder that is for people? Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can like type it in the chat GPT and see if it can give me some. It wasn't BPD. It wasn't. It was something else. Maybe it was. I don't think it was. It was something new. Hold on. Oh my gosh, this is killing me because I wanted to add it into the video. Hold on. Maybe it was that. Oh my gosh, this is killing me because I know it. Hold on. Maybe I can't remember. I swear it started with an N. I swear it was NPD, but I don't know. Is it that? Let me look up traits for NPD. Maybe it was that. I don't feel like it was. I feel like it was like something very specific. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like I'm taking forever. Nick told me to stop saying sorry to y'all in the videos. I was like, I'm weak. No, it wasn't this. It was something unique. Hold on, let me see if I can go on Reddit. Hold on, this is killing me. I'm sorry, I cannot let this go because it just came up while I was thinking about this. Hold on, I know there's mad Reddit threads. Okay, hold on. No, this wasn't the thread. Okay, it wasn't this one. I'm sorry, y'all. This is killing me. It started with the N, but it was like something I had never heard of before. Shoot. Was it this one? Okay, hold on. Impulsive. Oh, someone said it's giving borderline personality disorder. I don't think it was that either. I'm sorry, y'all. This is killing me. Give me like a couple of minutes. I need to research this. They saying borderline personality disorder. Hold on. No, was it borderline? Hold on, let me see. I don't think it was that. What are some traits? BPD. Maybe it is borderline. Oh, maybe it is. I swore it was something else. Okay, so I just looked up what are some traits of BPD. I can't find that thread. This is killing me because I wanted to add it in the video. I probably should have done this before I got on. But it says borderline personality disorder is characterized by intense emotions, unstable relationships, and difficulty maintaining a consistent sense of self. It's not just about mood swings, it's about how emotions, self-image, and attachment all intertwine. Here are the core traits of BPD. 1. Fear of abandonment, frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined rejection or separation. 2. Unstable relationships, intense, stormy connections that swing between idealizing and devaluing others. I definitely think she struggles with that or suffers from that. 3. Unstable self-image, shifting sense of identity, values, or goals. I definitely believe that's her. Like, she can be very confident in one moment and the next she's just doubting everything. She does not realize, like, she's literally stunning to me. I know some people are like, oh, she's not all that. I actually think she's really pretty. She does have like that almost cookie cutter thing that the other girls in the Mormon Wives have, like with the same hairstyle, the big hair, the tan, the makeup, like, but to me, she stands out a little bit more because she's not blonde hair and blue eyed. And I think she has her own signature. She has like her own essence, I think. Number 4, impulsivity, risky behaviors such as reckless spending, substance use, binge eating, or unsafe sex. Or I'm just gonna say it, I don't care, sex. I don't know why I said sex. One of my favorite YouTubers says that, but I don't care. Number 5, emotional instability, rapid mood changes, often triggered by external events, high highs and low lows. Yep, she definitely was going through that with Dakota and even outside of him. 6, chronic feelings of emptiness, a sense of inner void or lack of fulfillment. Number 7, intense anger, difficulty controlling anger, frequent outbursts or resentment. I definitely feel like she struggles with that too. 9, stress-related paranoia or dissociation, feeling disconnected from reality, especially during high stress. And number 9, trigger warning, self-harming behaviors or suicidal thoughts or unaliving thoughts, not unthoughts, sorry about that. Often used as a way to cope with overwhelming emotions or fear of abandonment. I wonder if she does have that instead. Oh my gosh, this is killing me. It was like something about, hold on. It was like something about like attachment styles or something like that. I don't remember what it was called. I wish I had taken a screenshot. But anyway, so I had seen this and I was like, oh my goodness. So I'm going to read this article from People's website. The headline says, the new Bachelorette revealed, Mom of 3 and Secret Lives of Mormon Wives star Taylor Frankie Paul takes the lead. Paul, who will be searching for love on season 22 of The Bachelorette, rose to fame as an influencer in the mom talk community before her journey was documented on the Hulu series. I also want to add, I had never heard of mom talk. I'm in my auntie era. I do not use TikTok. I have one. I made one. And I don't even know how to use it. I haven't looked at it. I took the app off my phone. It was just too much like influx of other people's crap. I kept getting notifications from Adele. I was like, bruh, I don't like listen to her actively like that. Like if I hear one of her hits, I'm gonna stop and listen, but I'm not going out of my way to listen to her. But I looked at one video and like I just kept getting a million notifications about Adele. So I was like, bro, I gotta take this off my phone. This is killing me. Because I was gonna like link it to my channel. And everyone's like, you can do that to go viral. You can do that to get your content out there. But I was like, you really have to stand out to like get like your followers and everything up, like your channel up and running, your views up and running. And I was like, I'm not really trying to do that. I'd rather have a slow burn. I don't want to be instantly viral or instantly famous and then it fizzle out. Like I'm trying to do good content that I actually am passionate about and care about, but I also don't want to rush it. Honestly, I don't really expect this to go anywhere. I had so many dreams and goals for it, and then I just kind of was like, I just actually like doing this for fun. For me, it's like the research piece of it. It's also talking to you guys. It's also interacting with you guys, wondering if other people have similar opinions or different opinions. Just, it's like a way for me to like kind of show my love of pop culture. Honestly, that's really what I do it for. And I don't know, I've always loved pop culture. It's just very fascinating to me. Taylor Frankie Paul is the newest Bachelorette. On Wednesday, September 10th, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives star 31 was announced as a lead for season 22 of The Bachelorette on Call Her Daddy. You are on Call Her Daddy, so we can officially announce that you are this season's Bachelorette. How are you feeling? Host Alex Cooper asked Paul. Also, I'm going to say something that's really controversial. I do not like Call Her Daddy. I think it's very cringe. It gives me the ick. I don't really think she's doing anything groundbreaking yet, and still it's like she is like a god in the podcast world. I don't really see it for her, but I wish her the best of luck. I want her to be successful in whatever she does. I don't want to hate on her too bad. I actually, you know what I thought about doing? I actually thought about doing a video about how white influencers tend to blow up and get more opportunities than black influencers. But I was like, I don't really want to take it there, but I was like, I kind of noticed that. Like, I'd be peeping stuff and I'm like, well, this influencer is doing the same exact thing, but they don't get as many opportunities. They don't get shows. They don't get as many endorsement deals. They don't get tours. They don't get podcasts. They don't get book deals. Like, I was like, what is the gap? I feel like honestly, black influencers and black content creators, we move the needle on the culture. Like I said what I said. I'm not trying to be whatever. I'm not trying to be divisive, but that's my honest opinion. So then Frankie Taylor says that, you know, she's like, you know, this moment is surreal, and she's like, I can't believe it. And then she's kind of like asking, I guess Alex Cooper is asking her like, oh my gosh, how did it happen and all that stuff. I'm not going to read all this because this is a little boring. But then she's like asking how her family is, and her family and friends have taken the news, and some of them are like, oh my gosh, and then some of them are like, okay, good for you, girl, go ahead. So she also says that she has some reservations about becoming the Bachelorette, and she's like, I'm also a co-parent. I have 2 baby daddies, not one, so I'm dealing with 2 different people. She's talking about basically the guy that she ends up with will have to move to Utah because she can't move anywhere because her kids basically have her planted and grounded. And I thought that was interesting. I don't necessarily think it's bad that they have a woman who is a single parent or a single mom as a Bachelorette. I just think it's a little problematic because I don't think she's still done with dealing with her ex, Dakota. And I actually started watching season 2, and it was not as fresh or fun for me as a viewer. It felt like everybody on there was just trying to, again, stake their claim and just be famous and like go as viral as possible. Like the one girl, Miranda, who randomly showed up, I was like, why is she back? Now she's saying you were going against Taylor. You didn't have her back. You were silent for 2 and 3 years. And I get that that's embarrassing, and I get that that's very personal and that's very sacred and intense what she went through. And I can honor that and I can respect that. But now all of a sudden it's like she popped up because she wanted an opportunity. She saw like what the show did and what opportunities the girls got from that. And I didn't necessarily like that. So I kind of stopped watching it, and it just wasn't as fun. I think it was a little bit boring. It was a little bit trite or cliche. And they swear up and down they're like breaking norms and things, but I think they're just being raunchy just for views, just for shock value. It didn't really feel authentic as the first season. But that's just me. I'm not trying to shit on them. I think it's cool that they got a show, but at the same time, it's not adding anything new to the conversation, at least for me. But I don't really know that much about the Mormon faith, so I don't want to come down on them too hard. But I think she's really not over Dakota. They have this weird back and forth thing. They're a very emotionally intense couple. It seems like she's still carrying a lot of pain from that relationship, especially with the infidelity, him not telling the truth about the infidelity, giving her the runaround. And then what actually killed me was when she had to sit down, not when she had to, when who was it? Was it Macy invited the girl over that Dakota was dealing with while he was dipping and dabbing with Taylor? I didn't like that, and you could tell Taylor was visibly uncomfortable. And the fact that that other woman came on TV to tell her what her man may or may not have done with her, I'm sorry, I can't get down with that. And I'm not trying to slam the woman. I just think me as a woman, I wouldn't do that. Like, it would be a phone call off to the side, off camera, off air. Like, I can't, or a meetup off air, off camera. But I understand ratings, production, all the things. I don't know how as a woman you could be comfortable with that, but also it's not entirely her fault because Dakota was the one that lied. I always feel like the man should be held accountable because he's the one that is telling truths or lies. And in this case, he was probably mostly telling lies. But I think with Dakota, it's like trying to fit a circle in a square peg. Like, it's just not going to fit. They're not right for each other. I think the best that they can do is be friends and co-parent. I think that he wants the relationship more than Taylor does, but I think Taylor is also still emotionally attached or still has some baggage from that. That's what I mean by I don't think she should be doing this. She also needs to heal herself. I think that she is a very broken person, and I don't mean this in a bad way. She just comes across very broken, very wounded, and it's like she's still beating herself up for the things that she's done in her past, and that's something I can relate to because I have the tendency to do that, or had the tendency to do that. I don't think I do it as much, but definitely when I was younger, especially like when my parents got divorced and just like the breaking up of our family, I feel like that was my fault. Like, I should have bore the brunt of that. I should have like fought more, but I realize now as an adult woman, like, that wasn't my responsibility. The marriage was between my parents, not between all four of us. Now, did it involve us? For sure, but it didn't. Their relationship falling apart the way that it did, it has nothing to do with me. Or let me back up. I understand kids can affect marriages. I do understand that, so I don't want to completely, I'm not trying to blame my parents. I guess what I'm saying is that whatever issues my parents had are between them two. That's what I really wanted to get at. But I think that Taylor is very fragile. I don't know if she has the best support system. I'm not trying to shit on her family or her friends. I'm sure there's people off air that really care for her and that really show up for her. But when I see her, I see someone who is codependent. And the reason why I'm able to recognize the behavior is because I was definitely codependent. Hi, Pot. It's me kettle. That's kind of how I feel like with this, but I definitely was very codependent. I couldn't be alone to save my life. I was hopping from one relationship to the next, and I definitely see that pattern with this, I was gonna say young lady. She's older than I am. We're not that far apart in age, like a year apart in age. I see a woman who is broken because her trust has been broken. Her self-esteem has been compromised with, like, because I think cheating, it chips away at your self-confidence. It chips away what you think of yourself, your self-worth. I think what I'm seeing with her is she doesn't have a lot of self-worth, and she doesn't have a lot of self-esteem, and she doesn't have boundaries. And I think that's why she keeps running into the situations that she runs into. And she also doesn't vet people. And I'm not trying to shit on her, but I used to do the same thing. That's why I'm able to recognize it. So I'm looking at a picture of her. She looks so sweet and innocent in this picture. Like, she has a purity to me, but she also has a brokenness and a little bit of a darkness or a sadness, almost like a heavy cloud over her. I'm gonna show you guys the picture that I'm looking at. She looks really pretty. But I also think that she's not mentally ready to take on someone else's emotions. She's already taken care of 3 people, not including herself. She has 3 kids. She has 2 men that she has to coordinate schedules and parenting with. I think that that's a lot to take on, and this guy who's going to come into her life, he's going to really have to have a strong sense of self, and he's going to have to be secure. I think those are the 2 things that she needs. And he also needs to make her feel emotionally safe and loved. What I feel like with the Bachelorette and the Bachelor is that a lot of the couples don't stay together. I think it's more for optics. I think it moves too fast. I know it's reality TV. I do believe that there are successful reality TV couples, such as Lauren and Cameron Hamilton from Love is Blind. I know there's some other ones, but I can't really think of them at the top of my mind or at this moment. But I think from what I saw on the show, she was always having like these really emotional outbursts. She was always crying, breaking down into tears. It seemed like she was just literally breaking. Like, I don't know how better to explain it. It was like she was a piece of glass and she just kept shattering, just kept breaking, and she never was able to put those pieces back together. I actually said this earlier to my therapist. I was like, I need to like remind my husband, even though I'm strong and I'm tough and I do a lot of things and I'm a go-getter and I'm a doer, sometimes I am very fragile and my inner child is very fragile and I'm like an antique. I'm like, you can't drop me. You can't take your gloves off. You have to handle me delicately. You have to handle me with care. And I think she needs to do therapy, not just for her kids, but for herself. She owes it to herself to let go of her past, but also to forgive her past and forgive herself. I think that's what she's struggling with the most. She hasn't forgiven herself. And I think she sees herself as like inherently bad. And I don't really think, and I also wonder if she's like, not a loveaholic, but like I said, she's very codependent and she moves very quickly in the relationship. I mean, we even saw it with Dakota. Like she moved at the speed of light with him. She was pregnant and having his baby before they were really even together, and they already had so many issues. I think she needs to slow down when she's dating, and she really needs to do her homework on someone. And what I mean by that is like getting to know them, getting to know their triggers, getting to know their different moods, getting to know their family, getting to know their faith, because I don't know if she's ex-Mormon or she's kind of like in between, like the middle of the road, but she needs to reconcile with her faith, I think, as well. And, she is so used to having her life picked apart, and she shares it with us online in such a open, personal way that I almost wonder if she needs to peel it back some or dial it back some, and like maybe share certain things and maybe keep some stuff for herself or keep it close to her chest. I share a lot with you guys on here, but at the same time I don't. Like there's certain things I will never come on here and share with you guys, like ever, like, because that's just my boundary. And maybe that's why it's taken things, a little bit longer for like views and different things like that. But I'm very intentional because I need to have that boundary. I need to have just something for me. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know if she knows how to do that. I think she also is the type, probably maybe due to her faith, she probably feels like she needs to be in a relationship. She doesn't know anything else. It could be a little bit of like male-centeredness as well. It could be her faith impressing upon her, domesticity. It could be a number of things. I'm not trying to crap on the Mormon faith, but that's just some thoughts I have. Also, I think she has a wound from like her dad not being there, her biological father. So I know there's that. But I think, as adults, it's unfortunate what happens to us, the trauma, but as adults, it's our responsibility to work through it. It's not anyone else's responsibility. We're responsible for our own healing. And I don't think she has quite done that. Instead of healing, she's been on TV, she's been online, she's, doing other things. And she has to make money. She has a family to feed. She has 3 mouths to feed. That's a lot of kids to take on by herself. Like, yes, the fathers are active and present from what she shared, but that's still a lot, because if you're the primary or custodial parent, that's a lot on your plate. And she doesn't have the best relationship with her family. It seems like her parents are really, really hard on her, and that they tend to take Dakota's side, or the man that she's with, side. And Taylor, she kind of gives me like chaotic. She kind of gives me, I don't even want to say unhinged. I remember one time I listened to an interview that Lindsay Lohan did with Oprah years and years ago. It was like when Lindsay was like really crashing out. Like she was in her party girl era. She was in her, what era. I'm not going to get into the specifics. And shout out to Lindsay for like getting clean and like getting her life back on track, because it is possible. But Lindsay was, I think Oprah had asked her, are you addicted to the chaos? And I definitely feel like Taylor is. And I feel like when you're codependent, there's like a high and there's like a low. And that come down is so ugly, because you have to sit with yourself. And when you put stock into being with someone so much like that, and you don't even like know yourself, it's like mind numbing. Like I remember literally feeling like I was actually high. Like I never had done drugs. I've tried one thing, maybe one time, and that's it. But I probably shouldn't have said that. But anyway, I tried one thing one time, but I don't do drugs. I drink periodically. I don't even drink as much as I used to anymore. But I remember when, what was I gonna say? I remember when I would like be dealing with someone and I'll become so attached to them. I'm like love bombing them. I'm like all in. I'm like gonna marry them. Like it's just moving at the speed of light before I can really comprehend what's going on. And I'm so attached to them, and I'm always clinging to them and talking to them and in conversation with them, that it just, I don't know, like I just felt like I was shooting up. I don't know what better analogy to use. And then when things would get bad or they would get toxic or turbulent, it felt like a come down. It was just like a low, low and a high, high, like, or low, low and a high, high, sorry. And like, I just felt like I couldn't even see straight. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Lana Del Rey's video for her song Freak off her Honeymoon album from like 2015, 2014, somewhere in that time. But the video for that is an accurate description of what it's like to be codependent. She is like in like the valley somewhere, like Joshua Tree or something, and Father John Misty is behind her playing like basically like a cult leader. But he's like walking behind her, but she's so like high out of her mind, like off of acid, that she doesn't even see like what's going on around her. She's not cognizant of her surroundings. And that's kind of the thing that I get with Taylor. Like, she's very once she's in, she's in. And I think I don't know, like, I just think she doesn't know how to sit with herself. I think she's really scared of it. I think she's running away from it. And that was definitely what I did until the trauma kept running into me and I had no choice but to address it. Like, I literally had like a psychological like snap. Like, I literally broke down and my mom was like, you need to go to therapy because I can't help you. Like, I'm trying to love on you. I'm trying to give you the support, and like nothing I'm doing is working. And I was like, damn, like I literally like mentally snapped. I was like, oh my gosh, it was like a rubber band. Like, it was just thinning out and just snap like a rope, you know, like a tether. Like, it was so bad. And I think she needs to believe in herself more. And I think she needs to figure out what she likes in this phase of her life. You know, for so long, people have been telling her how to move, how to live her life. She needs to figure out what she likes. She needs to figure out who she is, what she dislikes, what she likes to do, what she doesn't like to do. I don't think she's going to be good to anybody until she's good to herself. That's what the point I think I wanted to make. And that's why I think that she shouldn't be doing this. I understand there's probably great opportunities. I do think she's a hustler. I will give her that. She's always out for the bag, but it's like that is shallow or superficial or inconsequential, or it's not as meaningful as doing the inner work, because the inner work, doing that will be able to attract the right opportunities. I feel like I don't necessarily feel like anything is about money. I know money is great and we need it to survive, we need it to pay bills, put food on the table, but I think that you can attract those things later if you're moving right and you're moving accordingly and you're taking care of yourself, but you're also good to other people. I definitely think that. And I think she'll get the ratings up. I think she'll, you know, make it dramatic, but I think she's still in crisis mode. I don't even know if she's had time to grieve all of the things that have happened to her, let alone process them. I'm very curious if she's going to therapy. I wonder what this experience will be like for her. I suspect she probably will get engaged, but I don't foresee it lasting. And that's not me wishing ill on her. I think the last thing that she needs is an engagement or a serious relationship. The relationship she really needs to foster, the relationship she really needs to nurture or water, is the one with herself. Point blank into the period. But anyways, I'm trying to think. I don't know if I have anything else to say. I know a lot of people have mixed opinions. Either some people are like, oh my God, I love it, I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna be tuned in. And then other people are like, oh my God, this BIMBO. Like, and it's just like, you can have your opinion, but she's already signed up to do it. I mean, I feel like The Bachelorette is not really about finding love, but that's just me. But I don't know, I'm on the fence. I was like, am I gonna watch this or not? But I'm like, I don't know if I really want to see that. Like, to me, I want to see a woman like actually find love and it stick, you know what I mean? But I don't know, like, I'm a lover girly. I think Taylor is, but she's a lover girly that fights. That's also a fighter, I should say. I think you should fight for love, but keep your hands to yourself. That's what I definitely want to say. I know that she had the DV incident with Dakota, which was not okay. I don't know. She really has some deep healing to do. I really don't think that you can invite love into your life or keep it or hold on to it or retain it until you actually work on yourself. I mean, I wasn't 100% healed when I met my husband, but I was slowly doing the work. And now I'm like in a different level of healing that I'm like, I got to peel this back. I got to I feel like I'm like a cantaloupe or something. And I'm like scooping all the guts out, scooping all the seeds out and realizing, oh shit, this really ain't serving me in my life right now. And it's not going to really serve my marriage or serve me being a wife to my husband. But I want the best for her. I want her to find her happy ending, but I also want her to really lock in. What I think would be so clutch, I thought I was going to end the video, but what would be so clutch is if she actually stepped away from everything. I feel like if she stepped away from everything, she locked in, she like started journaling, started going into therapy, started living a low profile life, and then came back and really was more vulnerable, but also maybe keeping some stuff to herself and not turning everything into content, because at some point you don't have a line, you don't have a boundary. And I'm not trying to tell her what to do. This is just my thoughts. I think it probably is really hard to be so popular like that and to be so well liked and then to be so hated and then to try to redeem yourself. Like that must be really challenging. And I know there's a such thing as like parasocial relationships, but I pray that she finds whatever it is she's looking for, whether it's a man, whether it's marriage, whether it's healing, whether it's a financial stability, financial security. Hopefully her kids are healthy. I just want her to really, I want her to do the thing that we least expect, actually. I don't want her doing stuff like this. And that's just me feeling protective over her. I've never met her. I don't know her. I just know what I've seen of her. I told you I wasn't really hip to Mom Talk until I saw this show. And I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, not white women acting up. I was like, I love that for y'all. But anyways, I love you guys and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.